lateral eyesight. Is there the high drive? Deep center. Go, go, go. We're out of here. We're out of here. Say ya, playa.
Just like they drew it up in Hollywood. Caladros, the 3-2. Swing and a miss! And the Audubon Green Wave have upset the Kingsway Dragons! And this is it for good! The Audubon Green Wave are back in the Final Four! A gold pile on their side!
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to DW Broadcasting's coverage of men's varsity.
From our entire crew, we'll see you tomorrow. Have a good one, folks.
And welcome to a lively Rudy Barrett Gym here in Penns Grove, right off of exit 4 of 295. We're here in the deep south of South Jersey for a Tri-County crossover here on this Monday night between the Pitman Panthers and the Penns Grove Red Devils. I'm Dan Wilkins, joined by David Cohen tonight on the buttons, as we're going to have a matchup that could potentially be a potential playoff matchup later this month. Penns Grove right now is listed as the number 8 seed in South Jersey Group 1. Pitman, with the inverse from last year, they are the number 1 at the moment. Now, if everything holds, Penns Grove would have to beat Burlington City, Pitman would have to beat Maple Shade, and they could very well meet in the second round of the playoffs. So Penns Grove could be traveling up the road to the Rob Waddell Gym in just a few weeks. So this would be a good preview of a playoff matchup if that were to happen. Of course, PowerPoints can change drastically throughout the next few weeks, so we'll have to see. But for tonight, it's going to be a big night for Pitman, in my opinion. I think they've got a great lineup going into this. We've seen them a handful of times this year. Elijah Crispin, I think, is going to have a good time versus this Penns Grove defense. But don't count out Penns Grove. They've got some powerful forwards in Jamil Horace, and not to mention somebody who's not starting but has gotten significant playing time this year, William Roy. He's had some great three-point abilities, and not to mention that they've got the backcourt duo of Brandon Robbins and Karan Caesar, who can just blow right by you to the rim. Both of these teams are going to get introduced. Penns Grove will also have a pregame presentation on the video scoreboards here. So, by the way, go Birds, and we'll be back in just a moment for starting lineups and the tip-off here from the Rudy Barrett Gym in Penns Grove.
Equality, and in her day, arguably the most powerful African American in the country. Mary McLeod was one of 17 children born to former slaves in South Carolina in the southeastern region of the United States, where she quickly learned that the key to a better life for Black people was education. After graduating high school, she wanted to be a Christian missionary in Africa. Denied the opportunity to go because of her race and seeing a critical need to educate descendants of American slaves, she married and began to teach school. Teaching reinforced Bethune's desire to improve lives through education, and in 1904, with $1.50 and a dream, Mary McLeod Bethune began a small school in Florida. Under Bethune's direction, that 6-student school blossomed into the fully accredited Bethune-Cookman University. Wilkins' fierce leadership and drive launched her onto the national scene. First, in leading the National Association of Colored Women's Clubs, then by founding the National Council of Negro Women. In 1936, Bethune became the first African-American head of a federal agency when she was appointed the director of the Office of Negro Affairs in the National Youth Administration. Bethune was inducted into the National Women's Hall of Fame in 1973, and her legacy is also honored in the form of a statue in Washington, D.C. Bethune is the first African-American and the first woman to be recognized in this way. A courageous pioneer, social visionary, and a U.S. matriarch, Mary McLeod Bethune.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mary McLeod. And now let's meet the starting lineups for the visiting Pitman Panthers.
All right, so that Black History Month presentation has concluded. Miss Bethune, as we've got a starting lineup to be introduced. We've got the usual five for Pitman tonight. It's going to be Hudson Rue and Elijah Crispin as two guards. You've got Greg Peterson is there as the third guard as well. And your two forwards in the front court, Mike Fisichero, who reached 1,000 points late in the month of January versus Glassboro. And that was his the 19th scorer in Pitman history to do so. Aiden Stranahan also being introduced as a forward for tonight's game. And as Penns Grove gets introduced, we're going to crank it up.
And now let's meet our Red Devils. First up, it's your ball number 5, Jamil Horace Jr. Next up is a sophomore center, number 30. First name jersey, we call him Costa Cans. Next up is a junior, number 11, Roman Butter Gibson. Next is sophomore guard, number 0, Karan, the ultimate weapon, Caesar. And last but not least, is sophomore guard, number 2, Brandon, the Machine Robbins. Red Devils are coached by Mr. Damian Ware, assisted by Mr. Don.
So unfortunately, I cannot introduce the Red Devils as well as the Penns Grove High School team does. But they will now air the national anthem, and we will stay on the air for just a moment.
Please, for the playing of our national anthem.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's play some basketball. Like I said, Penns Grove did an excellent job of introducing their starters as we saw last week. However, I will do my best to introduce them just as well as Penns Grove did. Hey, it's Brandon Robbins and Roman Gibson, along with football star Karan Caesar here in this Group 1 organization. You've got Jamil Horace Jr. as well, and Jeremy Costacamps also making one of his first starts of the season for Damian Ware and the Red Devils. Red Devils coming in at 10-9 on the season. They are right now listed as the number 8 seed in South Jersey Group 1, and that's why we said in the open that these two could potentially meet in the second round of the playoffs, except instead of on the gray and red floor of the Rudy Barrick Gym, they would meet on the orange floor of the Rob Waddell Gymnasium. It's Hudson Rue under the tip for the Panthers. Panthers in their road white jerseys with black and orange accents. Red Devils in their classic home red jerseys with black and white number accents on the left side of your screen. Costa Camps under the tip for Penns Grove, Rue under the tip for the Panthers. We're up and away from the Barrick Gym. First possession of the night goes to Penns Grove as Brandon Robbins takes this one in. Moves it out to the right wing for Gibson. We saw Penns Grove back on February 1st in a Saturday game versus Deptford in the Tri-County Liberty Division. A game that Deptford won by thwarting a couple of last-second three-point shots. 63-60 was the final. Back to the top of the key for Gibson on top of the logo. First shot of the night is a corner three. That's good from Karan Caesar, who also rushed for 1,000 yards in the football season back this fall. In the first season under Coach Macarone, replacing what is now the West Deptford head coach, John Emmel, who also brought some talent with him over to the Eagle side. A couple of passes didn't go their way. Back out to Robbins now. It takes his time. Guarded with distance by Rue. Back to the volleyball line. Another bounce pass into the paint. Moves it back out to Robbins. Pass to Gibson. Gibson feeds it to the left, feeds it to Caesar, who hit the first three-pointer of the night, has the only points of the evening so far, 6:40 to play, and that three ball from the same spot is too long. Rue picks up a rebound. Rue taking it himself to the basket. That one's good. So Rue with a 2-point lay off the right hand gets the Panthers on the board. It's 3-2. A high pass, tries to keep it in bounds. It'll be Penns Grove ball as Gibson takes this one in. It's a light week on DWB this week. We'll be on the air on Saturday in the first round of the Camden County tournament between Pennsauken and Gloucester. That's a 12 o'clock start on Saturday. And a couple of RCSJ games for myself on the Roadrunner Network as Rue strips it away. Crispin kind of tipped the ball out of his hands. Now Crispin's got it back, moving in to Rue, and he's got 4 points. So Hudson Rue gets the first two baskets for the Panthers, and it's 4-3. So an early three ball now taken away by two layups, and the Panthers have the lead. It's 4-3 in the early going. Penns Grove 6-3 in the Tri-County Diamond Division, had a 5-game winning streak, which immediately followed a 4-game losing streak. But those were versus some good teams. They lost to Eastern and Overbrook, held their own in both games. Actually, I apologize, it was a 6-game winning streak, beating Pennsville, BC, Woodstown, Clayton, Shalleck, and Wildwood before losing to Deptford 63-60 in the game that we covered. In a contentious game on that Saturday, February 1st. 5 technical fouls were assessed between both teams, as that three is from the top of the key for Brandon Robbins. Inbounded, some trouble for Crispin there. Now Crispin moving in, right-hand lay is good. Tie game, 6-6. Brandon Robbins, the sophomore guard, 201 career points going into today, 69 rebounds, 95 assists. He has 38 steals this season for 45 total across 18 games of play, averaging over 2 steals per game. Certainly a strong stat to stand by your guard for. Another bounce pass at the top of the key. Fires it away into the corner for Caesar. That ball gets wrestled away. Who's got it? No whistles yet. Everybody's falling on top of it, and a jump ball is called. 12 points total in the first 4 minutes of this one. 4:21 to play in the first. 6-6 tie game. And honestly, in this tie score, you can see the two philosophies of these teams clashing, where Penns Grove likes to hit a lot of three-point shots. Pitman has been reserved to a lot of layups and mid-range jumpers this year, with the exception of Elijah Crispin, who can basically shoot it from anywhere. We're going to have a travel called. Elijah Crispin doing well for himself in his own right. Scored 1,000 points as a junior, got 575 last year, up to 517 points this year. I mean, as a freshman, he scored 399. In fact, in no game this year has Elijah Crispin scored less than double digits. That's no good. Rue can't get it there on a second chance, and a third chance is good to give the Panthers the lead. The lowest amount of points that Crispin has scored was 13 versus Cherry Hill East back on January 25th. He immediately followed that up with 43 versus Clayton in a definitely a high-scoring 103-87 score. He pulls up for three, no good. Rebound Stranahan. That ball almost got away. Now into the corner for Greg Peterson. No good there. And the rebound by Costa Camps. Penns Grove pulling up with Robbins. Feeds it into the corner. Gets an open look. Oh, so close. Ball gets tipped away. It'll be Penns Grove ball. In fact, back-to-back games, Crispin was held to 15 versus Shalleck, 13 versus East, but then immediately exploded for 43 versus Clayton, and then 32 in that 69-55 win over Glassboro back on January 30th. Caesar for three, too long. Rebound Costa Camps, right-handed lay is good. Tie game again. Again, we're seeing these two philosophies clash here where Pitman and Penns Grove, both teams that like to push the pace on the offense, as Crispin lays it in for his first points of the night. But, I mean, right now, Penns Grove is in a situation where they know that they, don't have as many wins as Pitman. They have more losses, but yet they've played more games. So that basket was no good. The net moved just off of a hard angle. Couldn't get anything there. Rue will inbound. It's 10-8 Pitman. 2:15 to play in the first. Hudson Rue committed to Messiah University for baseball, along with Aiden Stranahan, who's also committed to Camden County College for baseball. I mean, this is the epitome of a Group 1 school where their graduating class isn't too much above 100, where you're going to see multi-sport athletes aplenty, and the specialists will most likely be heavily encouraged to play other sports. That three is no good. Quick rebound for Peterson as he'll clear the floor. Guarded by Robbins. Back in the corner for Fizzacaro. Up to Rue. Foul and one. So Hudson Rue driving to the basket there after the pass. Picks up a foul and one. It's the first foul assessed in this game, and we're a minute and 30 left in the first quarter.
Game, number 10,
Luis Colon will check in, subbing out Costa Camps.
Rue for one.
Hudson Rue, the 6'2" senior, 342 points in his career. He actually has more rebounds than points. He has 368 career boards and 83 steals in 97 career games played. That's the thing about Rue, is that he will give you more passes and steals than he will give you points. He's only scored double digits twice this year. Once versus Gloucester Catholic, where he scored 11, and then one versus Wildwood, where he put up a double-double, 10 points, 11 rebounds. 13-10 now in favor of the visitors. Crispin fading away. Three no good there. Rebound by Robbins. As we said, doing quite well for himself here tonight. A triple of his own in the first. 1 minute now in the first quarter. Bounce pass. Inside. That pass went far away. You could see the frustration there from Damian Ware. I think he was trying to get him to shoot inside, but then instead they tried to pass it out into the corner. Couldn't get any luck there. Some heavy pressing on the full court by Caesar, guarding Elijah Crispin. Now it's Fizzacaro moving inside. Couldn't get it there. Rue picks up a rebound. Nice save. Back out to Stranahan. No, not Stranahan. That's Peterson. The pass intended for Stranahan goes high, and it's Penns Grove ball. This broadcast is brought to you by Garden State Pet Center. Keep your pet happy and healthy today with the most organic food products available in South Jersey. Along with toys, cages, accessories, and much, much more. I think the basketball might have gone under the stands for a second there. It took a while for the ref to pop out, but you can visit 7 days a week. They're open 7 days a week at 226 South White Horse Pike in Audubon. Let's see here. Antoine Robinson checks in. They're going to have a 30-second delay. Or I'm not sure. They said put 30 seconds on the, or they said put 20 seconds on the clock, I think they said. The referee, I'm not sure. They're going to inbound it. Not exactly sure what happened there, but Robbins has it crossing midcourt. 20 seconds remaining. Panthers lead by 3 over the Red Devils. Cologne gets blocked. Now it goes back out inside, can't pull down the rebound, and now it's Crispin. He'll have time to drive it down the floor with 5 seconds left. Let's see what he can do here. He's guarded heavily, can't get that shot to go, and a foul will be called as the buzzer strikes 0, so we might have some quarter-ending free throws here in what has been probably one of the cleanest quarters that I've seen in a long time. Just 2 team fouls, both against Penns Grove. I mean, we've seen some games where teams will hit bonuses basically in no time, and now we've got 2 fouls in 8 minutes. That shot is good from Crispin. So he makes his first, make it a 2-possession game at the end of the first quarter. He can extend the lead to 5. That one's good.
That's the end of the first quarter. Pitman 15.
At the end of the first, Pitman up by 5, but Penns Grove holding their own here in this one at home. It's 15-10 after the first. We'll be right back. You know, the first quarter, there's Damian Ware after talking to his team, 15-10 after 1. As we kind of unofficially / officially start the countdown to 500. Our 450th broadcast was at Pitman, between Pitman and Glassboro, back on January 30th. That ball gets tipped away. Crispin keeps it in. This is broadcast number 456 for us. Saturdays will be 457. I think by the time baseball season starts, we'll probably be close to maybe 470. Can't imagine we have too many left in the regular season. Foul. Hold on here. He called a foul and he called a walk at the same time. All right, so he called a foul, but then he waved it off for a walk, so no foul. But like we said, only 2 team fouls in the first quarter. One was against Caesar at the end. Nice move to get around Stranahan, but the shot doesn't fall. And we're going to have a foul on his way up. Antoine Robinson gets hit on his way up.
Michael
Fizzacaro is going to get hit with his first foul and Pittman's first team foul of the night. They actually do not call it a shooting foul, so he will go back to the inbound. Bounce pass. Over to Roman Gibson, guarded doubly by Crispin and Fizzacaro. Back into the corner. Gibson, catch and shoot three, off the mark, front of the iron. And that shot does not go up. Trying to swipe it away. Peterson hangs onto it. Crispin loses the ball, but it hit off the backside of a Penns Grove player, Caesar. And a contentious possession there results in a turnover. Actually, no, it won't be a turnover. It looks like Pittman will hang on to the ball here. Rue has it. (15-10). No points have been scored yet in the second quarter. One foul on the Panthers. Moves it back out to Stranahan. Puts up a three, and it's good. Stranahan makes it an 8-point lead here in the second. Penns Grove right now, they don't want to let anything from that first quarter slip away from them. They want to get back into the scoring column. They want to get themselves into a groove, and they have to find, against a team as good as Pittman, they have to find out how they're going to do that. 3 balls off the mark. I mean, there's shots like that where they get open looks, and it's going to be a foul and one. Caesar will get the benefit of the doubt there, and he'll go to the line for a bonus shot. Stranahan gets hit with the foul. Two team fouls now for Pittman here in the first 2 minutes of the second. Caesar makes it 18-13 now. Caesar, that will be his 400th career point. So he had 228 on this season going into today. Caesar's been on a scoring tear. In his first 5 games, he only put up 1 game of double-digit points versus Delsey. And now the streak has since been broken, but he had a streak right after the new year where he had 9 straight games with double-digit points. Stranahan off the mark. Rebound by Caesar. Put up 22 versus Deptford, 22 and 9. Also had 19 points, 8 boards at Wildwood in a game that Penns Grove won 60-47, the last game of their winning streak. Rebound Peterson. Some heavy pressing here by Penns Grove, and right now we'll have to see. Time will tell if it's working, but Penns Grove is making sure that no man is left unguarded here. It's Rue, can't get the open look, and a foul is going to get called on Rue as he makes contact. He makes contact with number 20, Antoine Robinson. So in what was a light fouling first quarter, fouling now starting to ramp up a little bit. We've got 3 against Pittman. Guarded with distance, Crispin moving out. Corner 3, good! Roman Gibson has sparked a 6-0 run for the Red Devils as what was an 8-point lead after some missed layups and missed threes has now shot down to 2. Getting away there. Jamil Harris will check in for the Red Devils. This will send Luis Colon to the bench. Crispin gets fouled. So some heavy guarding in the paint. I mean, Penns Grove is a little bit relentless with that, and that's what I like about their team and what I've seen from them this year is that they are not afraid to draw a couple fouls if it means that for the ones that are clean, it'll get you some benefits in the end. Crispin makes his first. Crispin in his career, a 77% shooter from the free throw line, 271 for 354 in his career. He shot 150 free throws in 2023 to 24, his junior year. He was also third in the state in assists behind A.J. Palumbo of Union Catholic and Malik Kelly of Kip Cooper. That ball gets tipped. Horace will hang on to it, and a travel will be called. Rather, Robinson pulled down the rebound, but a travel is called on Penns Grove. 4-point game, 20-16 after Crispin got fouled. He hit both. He is 4 for 4 from the charity stripe here in the early going. 4:15 remaining in the second quarter. Back to Crispin. Crispin guarded by Will Roy. Crispin moving back, trying to burn around Roy. Gets around everybody. It's back to Peterson, who catches the pass. Back to the top of the key. It's Crispin. Cuts out to the left. Moving in. Shot no good. I will say, Penns Grove has been good at locking down Crispin so far. I mean, they have recognized him as basically the main target and making sure that he doesn't get good looks. That ball's tipped a couple of times. Penns Grove dominating the offensive rebounds, and I think that's what's keeping this game close at the moment, is the fact that Pitman hasn't found a way to just burn by him. I mean, Penns Grove has a fast couple of guards. They've got Caesar, they've got Robbins. I mean, if they don't beat you with the basketball, they're going to beat you with their footwork, and they're going to beat you with the legs. Crispin, this time, proves me wrong. He beats Will Roy to the rim, and it's now 22-16. Will Roy has it at the volleyball line. Feeds it to Robbins, guarded to the left by Crispin. Now switches sides, heaves a pass across the way. Now moving to the semicircle, Roy moves out. Oh, he lost the ball as he was trying to pass it. Now double guarded in the corner, fires it off of Stranahan. Now the ball gets away. Here comes a breakaway for Crispin, and it's good. And Damian Ware will call a timeout, his first of the night, as it seems like things have just been a little bit funky here in this one. 24-16 as we take a timeout break. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the Rudy Barrick Gym. Sectional champions in 2020 in South Jersey Group 1. A nice heave across the way as that one will be Pitman ball. Penns Grove is trying to say that it's their ball. In the game for Pitman is number 22, Joey Zubert. On the floor for Pitman right now is Fizicaro, Rue, Peterson, Crispin, and Zubert. Zubert, a goalie for the Pitman soccer team, coached by Matt Newcomb, as that ball gets tipped away. Zubert gained some statewide attention for scoring a goal on a free kick earlier in the fall season. Fizicaro feeds it to Crispin. Burns Roy. Too long. Can't get the shot there. Fed across the way. Robbins puts up a three, no good. Rebound by Peterson. On the floor for Penns Grove right now is Robbins, Will Roy, also Jamil Horace, and we've got a travel called. Along with that, Antoine Robinson, and let's see, I think Caesar's also out there. No, I'm sorry, it's number 11, Roman Gibson, year 5 right now. Pitman with an 8-point lead. It's their second. It's also tied for their longest. That'll be a turnover. As Robbins, with intimidation by Crispin, got the pass to go awry, as Zuber will inbound this one for the Panthers. (24-16), a minute 13 and a half. Like we said, 8 points is the largest lead they've had to this point. Pitman with the inverse of last year. They were the number 2 seed in last year's tournament on top of Kip Cooper. This year they're the number 1. Kip is number 2. And I think a story that really needs to be told is Haddon Township. Oh, that ball got swiped away. Great move by Crispin to get that ball to get out from the back. Fizzicaro gets fouled on his way up. It's going to give him an and one. And that will bring Pittman's lead to double digits.
Personal foul, number 20, Antoine Robinson. Takes first, number 10, Michael Fizzicaro at the line.
Fizzicaro will go to the line. His and one is good. The TV's just shut off here. Yeah, they're having some issues with the scoreboard here. (27-16), 11-point lead. Yeah, some technical difficulties with their video board tonight. Atlantic City has the same setup. It's 4 TVs in like 4 quadrants. Rue is really taking his time here, taking a page out of the Olympic Conference book here, making sure that they have the last possession. The scoreboard just went out again. That's not a good time for it to go out. They don't know how much time they have. They don't know how much time they have. The three is good from Zuber. There's 2 seconds left. They finally get the scoreboard back up. They get a shot off in time, and it's no good. But, man, what a bad time for the video board to go out on the last possession. Ron Myers is not happy because the clock keeps going out. So yeah, Myers is not happy about it because, and honestly, probably rightfully so, because if you had one of those normal scoreboards that's electronic, probably you'd still have the clock manually operated instead of just on a laptop. So I think that's what Myers wasn't happy about, was that the video board kept going out, and when it went out with like 20 seconds left, well, guess what? Rue has the ball, and nobody knows what the time is. So maybe there's a loose wire or something. They were dealing with something with the horn as well during the JV game. Some kind of technical issue tonight here at Penns Grove. Hey, we're at the half. It's 30-16. Penns Grove trailing by 14 to Pitman. We'll be back in just a moment.
In life, the road ahead is full of possibilities, but to navigate it safely, you need the right skills. Harper Driving School is the premier driving school serving Gloucester, Salem, and Camden counties. With experienced instructors, many of whom are teachers in local schools, we are dedicated to your success and will help you master the road with confidence. With an over 95% success rate of students passing their road test on their first try, you know your student will be in good hands while embarking on a huge step of their young adult lives, all while avoiding the lines at the DMV and getting insurance discounts.
We chose Harper, and so should you.
Garden State Pet Center is an independently owned full-service pet store. Our specialty is promoting companionship between people and animals by providing the healthiest product choices available, including all-natural foods, supplements that support and relieve health issues, and innovative products for pet parents. Our goal is to provide our customers with a relaxing environment, and while we're not striving to be the biggest store on the East Coast, we're striving to be the best. No other pet store will make you feel at home like we do. At Garden State Pet Center, we view pets as members of the family. We don't believe in fast, high-pressure sales, but instead matching up the right pet with the right owners, as you are making a lifelong commitment. Together with our team members, we would like your visit to our store to be both enjoyable and educational. Simply drop in and take a look around. View the birds, reptiles, small animals, toys, food, cages, and miscellaneous items. Learn of the services we have to offer and decide for yourself if this is the store you'd like to call your home away from home.
Victor Santucci, owner of Garden State Pet Center. Visit us today at 226 South Whitehorse Pike in Audubon, New Jersey. We're open 7 days a week for all of your pets' needs.
2 minutes remaining. It will be inbounded by Pat Monahan. Oh, the ball gets away. Who's going to have it? GCIT will hang on to the possession. It goes to Stanwood. Stanwood inside. They'll get the shot off. It's gone! Unbelievable! Boston calls the timeout, but will they get it? Unbelievable! Unbelievable! A double contest shot from Hellman! Wow. Ryan James wanted the timeout, but did they get it in time? Will lead it off for the Senators. Chase Rollins, the player manager for CHP, gets it started with a ball upstairs, and we are underway in game one. 1-0. That one is hit well out towards left, and it is gone off the top of the goalpost. Shane Adamski with a thunderous start to his playoff series. Second pitch of the game, a solo homer to left, and before I could even write the first name down in my scorecard, it's 1-0. And this is going to bring up Andrew Petrick, who has a single in this game, and here's a fly ball popped up right field side. And it's fair. It's fair. They're going to throw to second for try to get this play, the force out. They got him, but the game is tied. How about it for Woodstown? They complete the comeback to make it 8-8. So now there is one out after Kubat let it fall in right, and because the bases were loaded, you know what? That's a very smart play.
School 30-16 in favor of Pitman at the half. It's been a weird game because Penns Grove is doing what they do best, and they're running through the competition with their good speed on the guard side of things. And for a team that's relatively small, they don't have anybody over 6'4", it's a bit of a conundrum because Pitman is not doing what they do best. I mean, you know, Elijah Crispin usually is the guy that has, you know, a whole bunch of first half points. He's pulling up from threes, usually running the floor, especially on the home gym at least. But tonight it seems like Penns Grove is really recognizing him as the main target and holding him back. Now, he has still scored a handful of times and he's made all 4 of his foul shots. However, they do seem to be containing him somewhat. And they've now had to kind of redistribute the energy to guys like Hudson Rue and Mike Fisichero in what has been a light fouling game. We've only seen 5 total fouls in the game. 2 against Penns Grove and 3 against Pitman. And even then, no quarter has had more than 3 team fouls in this one. So where Pitman succeeds right now is just dealing with a situation where they have these leading scorers, they have teams that are able, and they have players and plays that are able to be dominant, but Penns Grove is recognizing that. These two haven't played each other this year, but they're finding an opportunity to learn from last year's mistakes when they lost by a handful to Penns Grove, and now learning off of that. So we've got 16 minutes left to play. 8 in the third, 8 in the fourth, and it's a 14-point lead for Pitman, their largest of the night. They had a lead of 8 that was erased, and now it's going to be 14 at the halftime break. We'll spin this bad boy around as here at the Rudy Barrick Gym. Pitman breaks from the timeout. As Penns Grove is going to get ready to go, Pitman will have first possession. This broadcast is brought to you by Harper Driving School. Over 90% of students who take their New Jersey State driving test with Harper pass on the first attempt. If you like those odds, you can book an appointment today at Suite 4 of the Total Turf Complex in Pitman, right off of Lambs Road. And I think I do know a guy that would know a thing or two about Harper Driving School. He's right just 2 rows in front of us there. I think Hudson Rue, who made a cameo in the Harper Driving School commercial. I think he would know some as well. This one's back out to Fisichero. Double guarded now, leaving Peterson open. Last thing you want to do is leave Crispin open, though. Pass goes to Stranahan. Here's a 3. Good. Greg Peterson knocks it down from downtown, and it's 33-16. Haven't seen a 6-point play before. Don't think that would be in our catalog. Just reading off of the digital scoreboard here that they have at Penns Grove as there's a 3 to knock back as Gibson hits it. A heave down the floor. That one's good for 3 from Fisichero. Travel will be called on Penns Grove. Stranahan shoots it from the semicircle like he's shooting a foul shot. Rue gets it back on the second chance, 38-19. And that one's good. Penns Grove gets above 20, 38-21 here. Got a light week on DWB this week as Stranahan gets it to make it a 19-point game. Like we said, we'll be on the air for Pennsauken and Gloucester, the winner of the DWB fan vote, on Saturday the 15th. Start time at noon. Corner 3. Good. That corner good by Brandon Robbins. And Crispin gets a 3 that does not go front of the iron. Stranahan pulls the offensive rebound. It goes back to Crispin. Crispin with 1,830 points going into tonight's game. Like we said, has not had a single game this year where he's under 10 points. His lowest was 13 versus Cherry Hill East in a showcase game back in early January. And don't forget, on March 14th, we'll be unveiling the 2025 baseball schedule in the DWB selection show. That's a corner 3. as the 3 points have been running wild. That ball gets away. Caesar hangs onto it. Back to Robbins. But if Penns Grove can get those threes into the basket, it sounds like a stupid conundrum, but really it's not. I mean, Penns Grove has been good. How about it? No, basket's not going to count. Are they going to say it hit the wire? Damian Ware not happy with the call, says it outright. It's a bad call. Hey, yeah, I'll have to look at that. I'm not sure. But that would have been a big break, and here's a travel called against Fisicaro. That would have been a big momentum swinger for Penns Grove if they were able to get that shot. Yeah, I do see some movement on our replay. I do see some movement on the black wire above the basket, so it does look like it did barely scrape it. And that negates the three-point shot. 40-24, 16-point lead. It turns over right to Rue. Crispin pump fakes. Nice pass to Rue. He'll hang on to it. Rue has room. Crispin now under it. Stranahan, good. Took a couple of tries under the basket. As now Robbins bounce passes into the corner, gets a good look from three, too long. Costakamp's trying to hang on to it, guarded by Stranahan, now moving inside. Basket is up, no good. Ball's being batted around in the air like a hacky sack, as now it's Crispin moving in, triple guarded, which is sometimes what you have to do to this guy, and it's a foul. It's about the 10th or 15th time I've heard the Windows notification out of the speakers of this school. Don't forget, Dan Wilkins Broadcasting opens its college baseball schedule with a doubleheader between Immaculata and Rutgers Camden on Saturday, February 28th. I apologize. It's Saturday, February 22nd. (43-24) after some foul shots by Crispin. 19-point lead for Pitman. It's their largest of the night. And after a heavy first quarter, where it was 15-10, Pitman has not relinquished the lead since early in the first. Moves it inside to Caesar, gets blocked. Rue has it. Only one team foul here in this one, and it's against Penns Grove. And that was on the shot by Crispin that sent him to the line. Checking in for Penns Grove. First of all, subbing out will be Gibson. Coming in, number 25. That would be Carson. Can't see his name on this roster. I apologize. That shot's good. Yeah, we don't have, we have a Carson P, number 25. Don't have him on the NJ.com roster, just have him in the book here. Caesar, bounce pass, up, in, foul.
Personal foul, number 24, Aiden Stranahan. Team's first. Carson at the line, shooting two.
Penns Grove at the line here, shooting two. That shot's good. This broadcast is brought to you by the Dangerous Adrenaline Wrestling Gladiators, or Dog Pro Wrestling, South Jersey's best pro wrestling organization with high-flying action and nonstop entertainment throughout the state of New Jersey. For more information and future events, visit dawgprowrestling.com. Carson makes two shots, and Damian Ware will burn his second timeout of the night. It's a 19-point lead for Pitman as they're putting on a good show here on the road. 46-27. We'll be right back. Coming back from the timeout, 26-46. Pitman inbounds. Crispin on a double press. Loses it but hangs on. Now moves it out to Peterson. Crispin, top of the key, gets an open look for three. No good. And now here's Carson moving to the basket. Got hit hard. A little bit surprised there as Rue picks this one up. I mean, both of these teams really trying to push the pace offensively here. Peterson gets an open look in the corner. Now moves it back out. Crispin, the recipient. Another pass into the corner. Another pump fake by Peterson. Pumps twice. Fizzicaro moves in, drops it. Rue has it. Back out to Crispin. Stepping back for three. Front iron. Ball got tipped. It will be Penns Grove with the last touch. Oh, over the head of Stranahan. Back out to Crispin. Pump fakes again. I mean, right now what Penns Grove is trying to do, and it seems effective, is that they are keeping the ball out of Crispin's hands. They're just trying to do what they can to make sure that he isn't the one that gets the open looks. And I think at this point in the season, it's where some of those teams, they kind of get the intel. You know, they're like, yeah, this is who we have to guard. This is who we have to make sure does not get to the basket by any means possible. And Penns Grove seems to be doing a good job of that. The only problem is that Pitman is scoring with everybody else. Rue inside. That shot's good after a couple of fakes. Carson puts up a three, too long. Fizzicaro comes down with the rebound. Robbins with three. No good there. Over the back foul, maybe? Stranahan will get hit with a foul. That's gonna be his third, it looks like. He really seems to be the only guy in foul trouble tonight in what is, like we said, it's been a very light fouling game. In fact, this is the first quarter in which both teams have at least one team foul. Rebound Rue. I mean, Penns Grove has been just insistent on shooting those threes. Trying to, you know, basically recreate the success that Pitman has had from beyond the arc. That one goes out of bounds. Rue feeds it right to Crispin. Ball gets away again. They're going to say he stepped out. And it's a 22-point lead, 48-26. As Brandon Robbins got an open look from beyond the arc, but Crispin not letting any of that happen. Gonna have a foul called as going to the basket. Missing the shot was Robinson. And Antoine Robinson will go to the line for two. Robinson in his first varsity season as a junior makes his first. 75 points. Shockingly, this is just his 9th free throw attempted. He was 6 for 8 going into today. 52 rebounds, 25 assists, and 29 steals. He's put up double digits twice versus Shalleck and Eastern. His best game of the season, probably 10-7-5 versus Shalleck in a 71-37 win back on January 3rd to open up the new year. I mean, props to Penns Grove because with their above 500 record, they've been playing some good teams. They played St. Augustine. They've played Eastern. They played Deptford earlier in the season, which is doing well for themselves. They played Delsey in the Marty Darragh Showcase. They are not afraid to go out there and do, what is best for the team. Damian Ware is going to go out of the road because they know, as the basket is good by Crispin, 10 seconds left in the quarter. Penns Grove knows that not everybody wants to go to Salem County, but they know that Salem County will come to them. They've got 2 seconds left. Got time to get one off. It will not be off in time. Rue picks up a block at the end of the quarter. But Pitman crosses the 50 mark at the end of the third. It's a good night for them so far, 50-28 after 3. Welcome back, 50-28. A 22-point lead for Pitman. They led by 5 at the end of the first. They led by 14 at the half, so that lead has been steadily jumping as we enter the final frame here. Penns Grove with a loss would fall to 10-5. I'm sorry, to 10-10. Pitman would improve to 15-4, and they will still be undefeated in Tri-County Conference play. They're 9-0 in the Tri-County Classic. They have already clinched the division. As Crispin up and away, it's good. Their 4 losses this year have been to Eastern in kind of a Kevin Crawford reunion game over there. Cinnaminson in the Winter Classic, 57-49, and then Cherry Hill East in Jeff Coney's Classic. Robinson hits it. And then they lost 59-50 on Saturday to Robbinsville for their 4th straight for the Ravens. Fizzicaro took an extra step, got away with it. Now it's Crispin, and Stranahan is the one who finishes the deal with the basket. But yeah, I mean, not only are they undefeated in Tri-County Conference play, but they have also played well and held their own in pretty much all of their losses. They lost by 8 to Eastern, Cherry Hill East by 12, 73-61, still putting up 61 points versus a 20-2 East team. Lost by 8 to Cinnaminson, again another good team in their own right, and then lost to Robbinsville, the Central Jersey opponent, 59-50. They do not have any more out-of-conference games scheduled. They'll be home to Salem Tech, away at Pennsville, and they'll be home to Delsey on the 18th in the first round of the Tri-County Conference in Flight A. Those brackets were actually just released today, as we have Carson at the line for Penns Grove. First shot is good. Conrad Robbins, excuse me. In Flight A is actually where Pitman and Penns Grove both land. It is Overbrook and Deptford in the 8 versus 1 game. Overbrook is the 1 seed. Delsey will play Pitman in the 5 versus 4 game. Then it'll be Timber Creek versus Woodstown in 3 versus 6, and Kingsway versus Penns Grove in the 2v7. So in Tri-County Conference Tournament, it's Flight A, B, and C. We don't currently have any scheduled plans for the Tri-County Conference in the first round, but we do plan on getting a game for Tuesday. Crispin turns the ball over, but immediately almost got it back. Took the words right out of my mouth. Caesar tried to pass it, and it's Pitman ball. Rue will bring this in. He instructs his players to go far and wide. Referees are actually having a discussion here as to who has possession. Myers is saying it should be Pitman ball, obviously. So call will stand. No, call is overturned. Penns Grove will have the ball. They trail by 22. 6:26 here in the fourth. Moving out into the corner, Robinson, three, no good. Stranahan pulls in the rebound. That one is no good from Crispin. Foul called. Stranahan just fouled out. So Zubert checks in. I don't know if he fouled out or what, because he was talking with the referee, and it was he's at 4 fouls, but he was talking with the referee just like he fouled out or something. He did not. But it is the second team foul against Pitman here in the fourth, so he'll be on thin ice. Zubert comes in and he draws a foul of his own right. By the way, if this game holds to be 20-plus points of a deficit, it will be the first game this season to have on DWB to have a 20-plus point final since Collingswood and Pennsauken did. Pennsauken beat Collingswood 92-59 back on January 4th. And that was the last game to have a 20-plus point deficit for any team. That's a good three from Fizicaro. And just from a business standpoint, I think that's what makes a lot of what we do special, is that a lot of the games that we have covered, they haven't been against the superstars, but they've been good games. We had GCIT and Washington Township, 2 teams under 500. And, you know, had a good game with it. And then you had Kip Cooper and Holy Cross, 2 teams not playing in the same bracket, but in the same division, held themselves to a high standard. Leap Academy and Gateway, 2 teams that might not even make the playoffs in South Jersey Group 1. Game went to double overtime. Probably one of the most exciting atmospheres we saw this year. Rue will get fouled on his way up, bit of a late whistle. But, I mean, I will say we have been very lucky this year to have some very quality basketball games here this season on DWB. Rue makes his first shot, 57-32. Pitman up big in this one. By the way, for the other 2 Tri-County Conference flights, in Flight B, it's Washington Township as the 1 seed versus Salem, the 8 seed. Clearview and GC face off in the 5 versus 4. Triton and Glassboro in the 3 versus 6. And Highland 7, Williamstown 2. We are going to have a travel called, looks like against Will Roy. Actually, no, I apologize. That would be against number 21 for the Red Devils, being Caleb Fowler. Fizicaro moves in for Crispin. Shot is no good. Picks up the rebound. Ball gets straddled away. Crispin wanted the call. And the shot is good for Penns Grove from Will Roy. 4:20 left. Fires it across the way. And hold on, travel will be called. Oh, we got a T. We just got a technical there. Greg Peterson is going to get hit with the T. So Ron Myers, let's listen in. So, technical foul has been called. The foul was on, looks like the travel was called on Crispin. It was a little bit off camera, but Hudson Rue threw his jersey at the bench and now is getting back in the game and switching jerseys. Well, he's now suiting up as number 14, which would normally be Wyatt Thompson's jersey. And Penns Grove on the technical shots made 1 of 2 from Roman Gibson. I have never seen that before, and I don't understand why. Rue switched jerseys to replace Wyatt Thompson's jersey. Oh, so they resumed play while the ref was still addressing the scorer's table. Pitman wanted a travel call, but play wasn't even supposed to resume yet. So a very confusing situation. We'll have to get some explanation after the game because, first of all, I don't know why Rue had to switch his jersey. And we also don't know who it looks like the technical foul was assessed against Crispin. We saw earlier in the possession that Crispin wasn't happy with the fact that a foul wasn't called. And then, yeah, I don't know what happened from there. That was very, very weird and confusing. But it's 58-35. Here's a corner three. No good. Rue pulls down the rebound. Moving back out to Peterson. I thought it was Peterson who would have been hit with the technical foul, but instead it was Crispin. Crispin moves in. Crispin fires it across the way to Peterson, who puts up a three. No good. Bounce pass again. Fires it inside for Rue. Three. No good. They're going to say he stepped out there. 2:54 left in the fourth. Just a weird game. Weird, interesting atmosphere and a lot of interesting calls as now Peterson subs out. I'll still have to figure out after the game what in the world happened with that. I mean, obviously, Rue threw the jersey away kind of out of frustration, but then he had to switch jerseys. He couldn't re-wear his number 2, so they were going to have a player ready to sub in. It would have been number 11, Jay Craig. So in now what has been a very delayed fourth quarter. So now Ron Myers is speaking with the official. Some of the players are also getting an explanation as well of whatever's going on down there. Just try to get a better listen in. Couldn't hear anything there, but I'm still very confused on what the discrepancy is. 2:54 left in the fourth. Pitman is pretty much in the winning. I mean, they're going to leave here winners probably no matter what. It's 58-35, 23-point game. But Ron Myers, just off of, I mean, he is facing away from us. The body language from him is obviously very unhappy. They just gave him a technical as well. Is it assessed against Myers? I think it is. Yeah. It looked like it could have been a bench tech, but that was directly assessed against Myers. And it seems like that whenever we go to the Penns Grove High, there's some kind of confusing controversy. When we covered Deptford versus Penns Grove on February 1st, there were 5 combined technical fouls, 4 of them against the visiting Deptford crew. The first shot missed from number 11, Roman Gibson. I mean, whether you agree or disagree with the calls that are being made, I don't think that anybody can say that there's no confusion going on. He missed both. So, I don't know. Sometimes it's a bad situation when the commentators know as much as the officials and the players do. But 2:50 left. Moves it back out into the corner. Penns Grove trying to work with some crafts here. Shot no good from Luis Colon, and the putback is good. 58-37. Crispin moves out, got fouled. Crispin went down on the play as well. No, it wasn't Crispin who went down. It was Rue who went down. He gets back up and a little bit shaken up after the play. It's the second foul against Penns Grove. Pitman sitting on 4 fouls of their own. But I think they might sub out Rue. They're going to bring in 2 players here, Jay Craig and number 12, Lucas Razzie. So yeah, Rue visibly shaken up on the bench there. Stranahan unlikely to return to the game as well. He had 4 fouls and just what has been a very, very weird fourth quarter with several delays. Jumper airballed. Zubert picks it up. As Crispin wasting no time. Here comes a 3 from the corner, no good. Picked up by Carson Robbins. Contact now in the corner as Penns Grove will take this one away. And they stop on a dime. Ball gets turned over again to Crispin. And he will get fouled. We'll see if they call that a shooting foul. It looked like he was in the motion. And they do call it as such. That's the 3rd against Penns Grove. Again, don't forget, barring any changes, our next broadcast will be on Saturday, February 15th, between the Pennsauken Indians and the Gloucester Lions in the first round of the Camden County Tournament. 17 versus 16. Can't get much closer than that in the seeding. The top 4 seeds, Camden, Paul Sixth, PVI. And I believe the other one that's getting the bye, if I recall correctly, I'll have to take a look at just off the top of my head. I could only remember Camden PVI and Camden Catholic. Costacamp's one of the original 5 starters from tonight. He checks in here with under 2 minutes to play in the 4th. Guarding Fowler with distance. Bounce passes it back to Roy. Fowler again, bounce pass to Roy. High pass to Robbins. Here's a 3 from Robbins, no good. Rebound Zubert. He clears the floor, brings it to his friend Crispin. Fires it out. Another bounce pass into the corner for Razzie. No look pass inside now. And shot is good from number 13, Jake Bowen Ashwin. So a new set of faces on the floor, basically all bench players except for Crispin, who's still on the floor. Although 2 players are waiting to come in, Dane Collum and Alex James. Here's a turnover, breaking away for Crispin, and he lays it in. So as this game continues to wind down, 66-37. It's brought back out into the corner. Penns Grove would again fall to 10-10. Pitman, still undefeated in all Tri-County play, would improve to 15-4. As here comes another breakaway. Look out. Contact fading away. Zubert wanted the foul, and it looks like Crispin will intentionally foul to put himself over the bonus. I think he intentionally fouled so that he could get some of these new players subbed into the game for the final 15 seconds. I don't know. At least that's what I thought. It does put Pitman over the bonus. So Penns Grove, in the final 15 seconds of tonight's contest, will get themselves 2 free foul shots. Kind of crazy to think, with how weird this game has been with technical fouls and everything, that this is the first time any team has gone over the foul limit. We only had 2 fouls in the first quarter. We had 3 in the second. And yes, we do have 2 new players subbing in. It is Dane Collum, the varsity quarterback for the Pitman Panthers. And along with him, Alex James subbing in, number 23. 15 seconds left. Dane Collum will bounce this one back and forth. And it looks like they're actually going to move inside. They're going to try to get some baskets. That throw goes way high. Goes halfway up the bleachers. And it'll be a turnover. It looks like Penns Grove will now have the final say in a 30-point game, 68-38. Robbins pulls up from 3, doesn't get it. And they'll get the rebound. And Pitman, with a 30-point win, comes out of this one in a funky fashion, as they led by 5 at the end of the first, led by 14 at the end of the half, and it was just gradual progress from there as Penns Grove tried to find a rhythm. They just couldn't hang on to it, and Pitman was able to run away in the end, even with a couple of technical fouls and a weird sequence of events. And Pitman will be the ones to win by 30 tonight by the final score of 68-38. And one of the things that Penns Grove did well was that they were able to stop Elijah Crispin for the most part. I mean, they limited his ability as best as I've seen from almost any team this season. And they also did well in distributing the action to everybody else. But Pitman was able to rise above that and make sure that Crispin wasn't just going to be a one-trick pony. They made sure that Rue was involved. They made sure that Peterson was involved. They made sure that everybody was involved in the scoring, and then nobody else was left behind. So that'll be all for us tonight from our entire crew here at DWB, our social media coordinator, Haley Mejia, our graphics crew, Gavin Van Rel, Caleb Lane, and Liam Nolan, my producer, David Cohen. I'm Dan Wilkins. We'll see you on Saturday for Pennsauken and Gloucester on DWB.